Hi, welcome to the Google Slides tutorial for Google Classroom. There's going to be two parts to this video, just so that you don't have to sit through it for way too long, but I hope you enjoy it. My name is Tina, and I'm going to be taking you through how to create a Google Slide presentation for instruction, and also how to upload it to your classroom in presentation format so that students actually see it in presentation format as opposed to editing format. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and open up a Google Slide. We are not going to open up Google Classroom. We're going to go ahead and create the presentation through Google Slides. So we're going to click on Slides here from our waffle. And what will pull up is the Google Slide landing. And we are going to start a new presentation. Notice they do have some options here for you, but we're going to go ahead and start with a blank presentation here. So we click on a blank presentation, and what will pull up is our default page here. And what you'll see off to the right here, you have themes that you can select from, and then you have a blank slide right here. And the first thing that we should do is to title our presentation. We are going to call this Math Practice, just because it is going to be a practice, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go through some real basic functions in Google Slides that would help you put together a really quick presentation that you will be utilizing with your students. This is not going to be in presentation format so that your students can watch it on their own. I just kind of want to show you something that you could do to deliver some of your lessons when you are meeting with them live, okay? So off to the side here, to the right-hand side, you have themes that you can select from, and we can just scroll down here and choose something that you do like. So this sets your templates up for you, just gives them a little bit of color, what have you. Find something that you like. You can also go to the internet and download some templates that are really pretty neat out there for you. You would just have to change the actual content. I like purple, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with purple. Still plain enough, but at least there'll be some color in my slide. So this is what my slide now looks like. And if you notice, because it's a background here and it is a theme, I can't move the colors or anything else that the theme holds, okay? So I'm going to close on my theme there because I do not need that. This is my first slide, so I'm going to go ahead and title that. And we're going to call this Math Units, okay? And we are going to give it a subtitle, and we are going to say adding with place value, or we'll call it using place value to add. Using place value to add. Okay. So now I've created my first slide, and this is just going to be the introduction slide or my title slide. And I want to go ahead, I don't like this font, so I'm going to come back into my text box. I'm going to highlight what I've typed in. I'm going to come up to my fonts right up here, and I am going to just select a font that I happen to like. And I think I'll just want to go normal here with this math unit. I want to increase my size. I'm going to come up here. You can just hit the plus button, or you can just simply go down to the drop box and make it much bigger. You also have the ability to change this to bold, to italicize, to underline, any of those things. And once they're highlighted, that means that the words would actually come up with those features, okay? I don't like any of them, so I'm going to go ahead and take all of them off. But I can come up here and I can change the text color. I happen to like the black font, the black color, so I'm going to leave that alone. If I so wanted to, I can highlight as well. Right now it's transparent, but when you highlight, this is what it does to it so that you can actually see that. I like that contrast, but I don't quite like the highlight. So real quickly, I don't want to go back and have to unhighlight. What I can do is come right back up here to this arrow that goes to the left, and I'm just going to undo what I just did. Okay, right down here again, don't like this font. So again, highlight, select my fonts. Okay, and then I can change my size. and I can change the color. Okay, let's go with darker using place value to add. Okay, now I'm done with that first page, but I still think it looks a little bit plain, so I want to go ahead and add something to it. And let's go ahead and add a picture to this just to give it a little bit more life. So I'm going to come up here to the insert function, and notice you can insert several different things. For our purposes, we are going to insert an image. So, and we'll take the image from the web, the internet. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and click that. We come up to a Google search, and I want to just say math clip arts. Okay. And it'll pull up some options for me right off the bat. I happen to like this option. We are working with addition, and it's purple, so it'll match. I'm going to come down and insert. And now if it happens to not come and insert, sometimes that does happen, the little link itself, that's kind of disappointing. But I'm going to go ahead and go back up, go up to inserts, go search the web. And again, I see if that's not working for me, I can scroll down and just try to find something else here for my math fonts. Let's just go ahead and select this real easily. Okay. So that's coming up. And notice it'll come up in a different size. And now what we're going to have to do is resize this particular photo that's here. So if you notice around this box, we have things that we can, this is the image that we're going to move and resize. So just to note, right now my cursor is showing that it has 4 arrows, and I say, the arrows pointing north, south, west, and east. This is your tool that when it's in this capacity, this is the tool so that you can actually move it. Okay, that's your moving tool. When you want to resize, you're going to come up to any of these corners, okay? And your tool goes from your 4 arrows to now 2 when you want to resize. I'm not too sure if you can see that on the screen, but it goes and it faces opposite directions. When you do that, you click down on that and then you move it down to resize. Okay, so we want to just go ahead and resize this till we think that it looks good. And I might put that in here. Okay, I can size it up again. And I can also, when you have this little dot up here, this is so that you can actually turn it. Okay, so maybe I don't want it to really be straight. I want it to kind of be off, off-centered or off to the corner here. So if I like that, then we're done. Okay, so this can be all that I need to do. And maybe I think that it's missing. I want to go ahead and insert. There wasn't any more text boxes, but I'm thinking, gosh, it should have maybe my name in it. So what I'm going to do is come up here to my quick tools, and I'm going to click on text box. And once I click on that, you'll see that my cursor has gone to a plus. I click in the space that I want to type, and then I'm just going to put my name here. Okay. And again, I don't like the size of it. I can also come in and change the alignment. Let's go ahead and make that centered. I want to increase my size to maybe 50. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a different font. Oops, it did not change my size for me. Okay, and there we go. So I have selected that. And again, I want to move that down, up or down, what have you. I don't know that I like the black. So what do? I'm going to go ahead and highlight, and I'm going to change the color of my font. Let's go ahead and make that white. And there we go. I happen to like what that looks like. So that's the first slide. Obviously, your presentation is going to need more than one slide. There are things that I can do if I happen to like this particular, the way this looks. I can just duplicate this slide, or I can just add on slides. What I tend to like to do is I come right up here to go to a new slide. Okay. If I click on the drop down arrow, you notice because this was a particular theme, we can choose, it's a purple theme, we can choose some blank slides here, or we can do some that kind of come off to the side here. So maybe I'll choose this as my new slide. That just adds here. And my new slide is going to be one that has my objective, because we should start off with our objective, right? And then what we are going to have the students do by the end of the lesson, okay, students will be able to add up to 3-digit, digit numbers using the break apart. Oops. That's our lesson. Okay, and I can move this, I can center all of this, whatever it is I need to do, I can move that up. Okay, again, we can change everything. So maybe I want to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. We're gonna go, let's just try a 40 font. Nope, that's too big, so let's subtract some of that. There we go, that looks good enough to me. All right, and then right here, maybe I don't want to text. What I want to go ahead and do here is possibly just insert again another picture, another image. I'm going to search the web here. And now I might use place value because this is a place value strategy, right? Oops. Place value. So we'll type in place value and we'll look for something that maybe I think would look nice in that particular area, that because we're using a place value strategy. I'm just going to pull something really quickly that we think would look good there. Some of these are, they look like videos, but we will, where did, there it went. Let's go ahead and insert this. Okay, maybe it's not perfect, but we'll insert it. Now, here's my image. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little, oops, I moved it. I want to resize it, put it, drop it right in here. One thing I want you to know is you can still also, if you notice, I'm going to move this over so you can see that. Oops, let's undo that. I double clicked on the image, right? And if you notice, there's these little, what I'm going to do is crop them. There's these little black lines at the corners and everything. I want to crop this. That's when we're in the cropping. We're in cropping. I'm going to pull that down because maybe I don't want that hand in there. Oops, and all I did was resize again. Got to be kind of, you got to pull that down. So when you see it come down from the resize, it's cropping that out. And that way I can get more of the particular image that I want. Maybe I don't really want to see all that dice or what have you. I just really want the place value mat. Once I do that, I hit enter and my image it's cropped away all the other things, and now I can resize this. Okay. So I happen to like what that looks like. Perfect. My objective slide is done. Now the next thing I can do, again, if I come up to where the plus is right at the top left-hand corner, I can drop down, I can do the drop down here and pick another one of the theme slides, or what I can do is just go ahead and add a new slide. Right? It'll do it from the last one that I did here. If I don't like that, I just go ahead and right click on that and I delete that. What I want to have now for the next is blank slides, because what I'm going to do next is I want to change up what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and do a blank slide. I can go ahead and add in 2 more slides because I want this at least to be a 2-slide presentation. I mean, a 4-slide presentation. Okay. So when I come to my slide here, what I want to go ahead and do is, because again, it looks a little plain. I don't want to keep it too plain, but I don't want it purple anymore. So what I want to do is go ahead and we're going to put in a background. And what a background will do is it gives you something, again, in the background, but it's going to lock away your image. So right up here, instead of when you insert a picture, that can move around. That's something that you can move. When you come in and you add a background, okay, that locks in the background so that you cannot move that image. You yourself can't move that image. So when we click on background on our quick tools right up at the top here, this is what comes up. A background can be something as simple as the color change, right? or you can actually do an image. And in this instance, I do want to do an image here, and I'm going to do a Google image search because what I want it to look like, I want it to look like lined paper. So I'm going to type in lined paper. Okay, and then I have a bunch of different choices of lined paper that's pulling up. I think that I'm going to go ahead and let's see which one I like. I don't like any of those. Maybe I'll just put in notebook paper. When I do a notebook paper search, it pulls up what I want. Okay. And there we go. I happen to like this one right here in particular. So I'm going to click on this and I am going to, insert that. Okay. And notice I'm going to say done. It's already done. Now I added 2 pages right here, so I can always go into page 4 and do that again, or I can simply, another way to get a duplicate of that, if I go to this particular slide and I right click on that and I come right down to duplicate slide, it's going to give me exactly what I just did. So then I can turn around and delete this slide. Okay, so now go back to slide 3, and what I'm thinking I want in my presentation is I'm going to go ahead and say this is, I'm going to give, this is going to be your notes. Okay, notes. And then what I want to do, again, I'm going to insert, either you type something in where you want to have your notes, you know how to type that into your text box, but my notes page is actually going to be an anchor chart that I want to insert. So I'm going to insert again. This time it's going to be an image, but it's going to be from my computer. So I upload an image. I'm going to come up to my text box and I'm going to find my folder and I'm going to open that up. And now I have my image. These are my notes. Okay. So I can actually take this again, resize. Here we go. And move it around. Okay. Now, mind you, what we're going to be doing during this presentation is I'm going to be giving it to the students. I'm going to be talking to them. So again, this is just setting everything up for me so that I can do the talking while they do the watching or the listening and the note taking. Okay. Then after we go through the notes, I'm going to go ahead and do my next slide is going to be a practice slide. So now we're going to call this practice. Okay. So, oops. So how to spell. So we're going to do practice right now. I'm going to go ahead and delete this box just because it's a rather large box. So what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and make sure that my practice is going to look similar to this, right? Because this is the way that I'm going to be teaching them how to do it for the break apart strategy. So I'm going to put some problems here. And what we're going to do, I got rid of that larger text box, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box right now. Okay, and we are going to say 567, and we are going to resize this. We're going to make this, let's just say 24. Nope, not big enough. I want to make it 30. Okay, we're going to bold that. And I want to go ahead and use a different font, 567. I am going to, resize this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy it, which is Control C, and then I'm going to paste another one. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to move each one of these all on its own, right? So I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to take this number, I'm going to move this right over here, line it up. Okay. And then I want to change my number to 345. Okay. Again, the method, it's going to look similar to this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead again and insert a text box. And I can just put this kind of anywhere I want, right? I'm going to do my plus sign. I want this at 30, bolded, and buttons. Okay, oops, it did not take that. Okay, and hit enter. All right, so I now have my plus sign, which I can move over here. Let's make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, So I can move that right there. Okay, so now I have my first addition. And again, I'm doing this break apart strategy. So now I need some arrows. So I'm going to come down to insert again. I'm going to find a shape, my arrow, and I'm going to do an arrow, oops, this way. Now, apparently I selected the wrong arrow, so we can easily just delete this, or we can turn it around. Okay, I can flip this around. Okay. Okay, it's probably easier. Let's just take that off. It's probably easier if you actually just deleted that and get the right arrow. So I picked the wrong one facing the different direction. So I want to go ahead and come this direction. And what I'm going to do is, I don't like the arrow the way it looks this way. Maybe I wanted a hollow arrow, or I want to keep it within my purple tones. So I'm going to go purple, and maybe I'm fine with the way that that looks. We're going to have transparent, so I have no outline. Okay, because I like that arrow here, I'm going to again cut it, and I'm going to paste it right down here. Okay, same way I just taught the students in my previous slide, I'm going to set this up the same exact way. So now I need my lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and when we grab our line here, we're going to click up there, and you should have this little plus down here. So we're going to go ahead and set up a line. We're going to need 3 lines. But the first thing I want to do, I like to copy and paste. Sometimes there's a lot of things you can do to just copy and paste. So I am going to change the format of that line. The line weight is going to be at least a 4-point. Let's see if I like that. I like that. So now I'm going to copy and paste that. Because again, they're going to be putting numbers. It's a 3-digit numbers, so I need 3 lines. All right, I'm going to need 3 lines for each of the numbers here. Put that right in here. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of work that through. Here we go. Okay. Let's just say it looks all perfect, and I'm going to add in my plus signs here because we're still adding. Okay. So you kind of get the drift of what we're doing. A lot of it is cut and paste. Once you kind of start doing a function, you just kind of work through all of that. Now, in the interest of time, we're going to say that we've finished this. Okay, we finished this practice slide. Maybe I've done 2 of them. I might add more slides here, but we're pretty much done. Okay, now all of this it's completed, and the next thing that I want to do is, again, I want to very easily make this a little bit more engaging for the students, or at least a little nicer, right? So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go into the slide. When you click on slide, this gives you the options of what you're going to do with your slides. What we want to do right now is I want to go ahead and hit some transitions. Transitions mean that when you go from one slide to the next, that's all of those wonderful things in PowerPoint, right? Or you want to see every time you hit that next button or that arrow, or you click on the mouse, it might swivel in, it might fly in from the right to the left, whatever. You want to include those. Right now, there's no transitions. So I'm going to go ahead and, click this. For transitions, and now I want to figure out, how do I want this to go ahead and come in? Do I want it to flip in, dissolve in, fade in? You don't know what it's going to look like, right? So what you can do is go ahead and decide, I want that to look really fast, or I kind of want it in the medium, and I'm going to play it. That way I know exactly what it looks like, right? So that's what it looks like from one slide to the next, okay? If I happen to like that, maybe I want it to be a little bit faster. Again, I'm going to play it so I can see what it looks like. And that's what's going to happen from one slide to the next, okay? That's on a fade. Now I'm going to stop this, and let's just say I like that, but I want that to be for all of my slides. So I'm going to apply to all slides. Okay, just something as simple as apply to all slides. We are done, and I'm going to stop that motion. But oh, wait a minute, I'm going to go back and I'm thinking, gosh, maybe I want some of the pictures that I created, maybe right in here, just for emphasis. I want this particular picture to come in a certain way because I want to emphasize this. That's what we call animation. And it's still, when you want to animate something again, you'll be in the slide and you'll go to transition. Then you'll hit the actual image. So the slide transition is there. We're going to hit add animation. Okay, that's for objects within the particular slide. So what's going to happen is that's going to fade in, or I can have it fly in from the bottom and it flies in on a click, or after the previous, with the previous slide, or after the previous slide. We'll go ahead and do it after the previous slide. We want it to kind of come in a little bit here, and then we're going to play it so that we can see what it looks like. It comes in when you click, that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm going to stop that, and I'm just going to close this off because it's already saved. Okay, so I'm done with my slide presentation now, and what I like to do is generally I like to see what it looks like when I'm going to present this so that I can test it out. I'm going to come up to my present button, and this is what it's going to look like into your screen with present. This is how it starts. I go to the next slide. This is what happens. Okay, go to the next slide. Notice this, every transition I'm having is all right here. And this is what I'm going to get. So that's what the students will see when you're doing your presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of that to get into the editing mode. You just hit escape so you can get out of that presentation format. And then that's all there is to it. We have finished that presentation. You have saved it. It's going to be found in your Google, on your Google Drive when you need it. And that's all there is to it. Those are just some basic things that will get you through Google Slides. Just try it out. Again, Google is very, very forgiving. Everything is already saved. All I'm going to need to do now is close this off, and when I need it, go to my Google Drive to actually find it. Okay, join me for the next section where I will show you how to upload this to your Google Classroom. And we can do it in 2 different ways. So I will see you then. If you have any questions about creating a slide, feel free to give me a shout out via email at kacade@gdoe.net. Again, that's kacade@gdoe.net. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day. Bye.